Hey guys, this is Sam coming at you from the top of the episode to talk to you guys about our Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Metal Gear Mondays if you'd like to support the show. $2 gets you a special bonus podcast and some other goodies. So check it out. And thank you all so much for listening. We really appreciate it. And here is the show. Master Moira, this is Sneaky Snack. Is Colonel Colon available for compression chat transformation?
Sorry, my stealthy friend, but Colonial is cleansing his colon with Psycho Samantha and Manny Lingus. Can I put Naomi Watts on the line?
Patch her through.
Very pleased to meet you.
Look, I've got a real live wire here, and he's ready to detonate a cornucopia of nuclear rockets and a whole platoon of classic German ground troops. Is there anything that the boys back home can do to help me out here?
You're playing a dangerous game here. If you're trying to blackmail me.
This is useless. Put Sagittarius on the line. Sag speaking. He, him, her, his house hunts. And to you, Shaharla Sharkalarper, the one who dances with the wind. Do we have the whereabouts of Slippy and the shape-shifting soccer mother? Not at this moment, no, but it turns out that Large Mother of Three was a quadriplegic and quadruple agent. I should have known, given how much difficulty she had getting around the battlefield. Put Moira back on the horn.
Serpent! I just got wind that fragility snakes in all of West Berlin are on the move. Do you have the detonation codes firmly transplanted into your fake molar?
I do.
And what of the emergency backup plans, old son?
Hot shit! Is that oscillating osprey my old step pepper?
In the flesh and the blood.
How did you get the frequency to this line?
Oh, the men's room at the Route 66 just up the road.
Shit.
What is it that you want, osprey? Money? Fame? Colonial Colon's sexually repressed and ultimately unattainable niece-turned-secret daughter?
I just want you to listen to the podcast, Mr. Snake. And leave a 5-star review on Apple iTunes.
Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, welcome to episode number 90 of Metal Gear Mondays, the Games Club podcast, where we cover all things Metal Gear from left to right, top to bottom, inside and out, in pseudo-historical recreational order. As always, I'm your host, Alessio Summerfield, and this week I'm joined by Who Spoke Out?
There's 90 of them. It's Sam. What the fuck? What are we doing?
10 episodes to 100.
Oh man, that's my metal band's new name.
10 steps to 100, 10 episodes to 100. Mm-hmm. I like that. Mm-hmm. And we're also joined by
one level above Five Finger Death Punch.
Oh, I thought it's 90.
Who's that boy?
It's Isaac.
What's up, Isaac? Yikes. Yeah, so this is episode 90. We're getting on close. Episode number 1 appears to have broken 1,000 plays on Buzzsprout, so that's exciting for us. And we had 1,750 listeners in the last 7 days. How awesome is that, you guys?
That's
a lot.
Yeah, I went to this stats thing because I'm trying to see. I really, 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 really wish that our aggregator would tell us how many hours of this show there are, but I can't find it. I desperately want to know.
I almost don't want to know.
Yeah, well, while one of you guys are listening, I might crunch the number of minutes in a calculator app and secretly drop that stat towards the end of the episode. But until that day,
because if you think about it, that's all the hours that we've spent on the show.
Oh yeah, not even including
are not. I was gonna say are not even counted in the timestamps of the shows, and then we've done all the Patreon stuff.
Oh yeah, not to not include the editing hours as well.
Yeah, the editing hours too. There was one time me and Alessio recorded an episode together. It was an episode. It was me. It was the three of us, and afterwards Isaac got off, and then me and Alessio just stayed on Skype posting confused Travolta gifs back and forth for like an hour.
Oh, and I was crying of laughter.
Yeah, it was so funny, and that's Metal Gear Mondays time because
That's
that's
right.
what we do here.
Well, don't forget that there was that one time that we had to re-record an entire episode.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but anyway,
I think we've had to do that a couple times actually, right?
Once.
possibly.
I was in the
Maybe it was
closet.
just once. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you were in a closet. That's right. I remember.
I'm glad that you're not in that closet anymore, Isaac. And this week we've got something special. This is coming at you guys, I think, the day before New Year's, if I remember correctly. So first of all, may all good habits be forgot. I can't remember how that song goes.
All
Let
Lang Syne.
old acquaintance be forgot,
Forgot and
and
Billy Crystal kiss Meg Ryan. Whatever happens in When Harry Met
old
Sally.
acquaintance be
Acquaintance.
forgot,
And all the acquaintance.
and
no
living
Lang Syne.
on
Come on, guys.
the
Yay. So that's kind of like celebrating New Year's with us.
We did.
Hey,
We-
do you guys
we did
both
it.
want to be my New Year's? Do you guys both want to be my New Year's kiss at the same time?
I'm not going to be near you, unfortunately, Sam, or else I would say yes.
I can make it.
That's
How
true.
are you-
We'll make
how,
it happen.
How sure of you are that?
Pretty sure,
How
hopefully.
sure of that are you? Hopefully. Wow.
It's fine. Yeah, hopefully if all goes according to plan while you're listening to this, I'm going to be in Munich. So anybody in Munich who's a listener of this show, maybe keep an ear out. I don't know. But yeah, just to kind of
You're
give you
somebody
guys...
that sounds strangely like Alessio. It's
nasally.
probably Alessio.
Yeah. But yeah, we wanted to do something special and fun to kind of see the year out, and here we are doing some parody games. One of them is explicitly just a parody game. The other two are holiday-themed parody games, which is why we timed this out to go live when it did. And so the games that we're going to be covering are, we are covering 2017's Never Stop Sneakin', 2006's Merry Gear Solid, and then 2009's follow-up, Merry Gear Solid 2, Ghosts of Christmas Past. It's going to be a spooky and yet festive good time. But yeah, so we're pretty excited to talk about those. I know originally we had mentioned that we were going to be talking about... we had mentioned that we were going to be talking about Stealth Bastard, but instead we got in some last-minute entries from you guys, the listeners, and we wanted to include 3 special listener responses since this is sort of the end of the show for a while. So expect that at the end of the episode. But before we dig into that, let's talk about the news.
It's time for new news. Metal Gear news!
yeah.
So we are here. We're talking about the news. First and foremost, we got to tackle the thing that's on everybody's lips, or at least was as of circa 12/17/2018. Hideo Kojima in New York is being sought out by one Mr. Kanye West. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, God.
Yeah, right? Do we have any confirmation on whether or not they actually met? Does anybody know?
I don't know if there's confirmation. Jeff Keighley was like,
Dude,
trying
I'm
his
not
best.
going to lie. I was pretty upset about that. I was like, Jeff, you shut your fucking mouth and go back in your hole. Like, don't you dare do this.
Go back in your Hideo hole.
But yeah, I don't know. Were you guys excited about it? I'm kind of scared, to be honest.
I'm not excited about anything that Kanye West
Oh
does.
no.
Like, I'm gonna say something probably that a lot of people are gonna think I'm an asshole for. I kind of like Kanye's music.
Why is
so
I like his music too.
yeah, but like especially given the current
used to
state
like
of
his
Kanye,
music.
I think a lot of people are kind of boycotting his music.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I used to like his music. I haven't been interested in his music for a very long time, though. And
Yeah.
then he's kind of just this fucking psychopath, and I just don't partake in him ever.
Apologies, I'm still getting over my illness. Yeah, I don't know. Like, what the fuck would they even talk about? I feel like Kojima would just be confused.
Probably.
So,
or maybe he's the person that we need to understand.
oh god, can you imagine if Kanye somehow like influenced Death Stranding? I feel like that's like my worst nightmare. Like Kanye West's mother ends up in Death Stranding.
Oh god,
he's in the game.
What?
Forever.
He's literally like his spirit is in the game.
I want a Kanye West spirit in Smash Brothers.
What if we're all playing Death Stranding, we're covering it for the show, everything's super serious, we're like weeping because it gets like really emotional, the end credits are about to roll, and then and like Power just starts playing, and it's just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh,
Is this what that was about? Like, that son of a bitch.
Fucking stupid.
Kanye puts out an album, and like the lead track has like a hook about the la lay lo, and it's just like, all right, I'm done now. But anyway, I feel like we kind of. You guys feel good on that? Are we good on? Are we good on?
Yeah, I'm good.
After
I'm
my
good
bad
on
Power
Ye.
joke, are we good with the news item?
We good.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. Sam, I think you want to be the one to chauffeur us into this territory.
I do want to show first into this story.
Into this story? That's a Freudian slip.
That is a Freudian slip. That's my best friend. If you recall, Cody and Brandy Rhodes, who are
could you give us a little bit of background on who Cody Rhodes is? Because I just discovered some hot shit about him earlier today that kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so for us not keen to the wrestling facts, hit us up with who that is.
So I am, as some people know, a very big professional wrestling fan, and a couple people gave us presented this information to us as if I didn't know already. Come the fuck on.
Wow.
One of which was Craven Knight, our listener Craven Knight, who
Sweet baby
who
Craven.
is a professional wrestler himself. Cody Rhodes is a professional wrestler who is the son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, who is a famous professional wrestler in the territory days and in WCW and things of that nature. So Cody used to work for the WWE. He left a couple years ago, and he's killing it on the independent wrestling scene currently. And one of the bigger independent wrestling companies, if you could call it independent at this point, is Ring of Honor. And Ring of Honor held their the final show of the year, Final Battle pay-per-view. And Cody and his wife Brandy came out dressed as Venom Snake and the Boss, which was super cool. And
Yeah, her
Cody
boss
Rhodes
outfit's
is
pretty
super
sick.
cool. Her boss outfit is pretty sick, and she's got those boobies, Isaac. So
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
I didn't look. I did not look.
Wow.
you should click on that link and tell me what you think.
Oh no. Here
I like
goes
that. I
live.
like that rhyme. Click that
like it.
link.
Thank
Tell
you.
me what you think.
All right.
So
this
what?
is,
So what? Oh, he's clicking on it. I see his name on the.
Yep,
Oh,
there it
no.
is. I like the I like it so far. Oh,
I like it.
she's up on stage.
Yep.
She's got her arms around the what do you call it? The ring, if you will.
Yep.
Oh, Isaac,
she's
did you press
bouncing.
play on the video?
Huh? Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Apparently, Sam, did I totally stroke out in the middle of this in the middle of this episode? Did you just tell us about Cody earlier about like his relation?
Yeah, to Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, and Goldust. Did you talk about Goldust?
Yeah, and Goldust is his brother.
There we go, half brother.
Yeah, half brother.
Very weird.
Goldust. They're sons of Dusty Rhodes. Yeah, he's brothers with Goldust.
It's a little nuts. Before we dive into these next two news items, I promise that I haven't been, what's the word, negligent father with the newborn while you guys were talking. I was just doing a little quick crunching, and guess what I discovered? We, as of this episode, have recorded 138 hours of Metal Gear Mondays.
Wow.
God.
And if you want to know what that is, that's 5.75 days
No, don't say that.
of us talking.
Jeez.
You could almost listen to us for a full 7-day week.
Yeah, and you could pretty much just double that, and that's probably like the amount of prep time and edit and everything that's gone in. So it's like
Does that-
roughly like 272.
Does that include the
or 276?
the Patreon?
It does not include the Patreon. So add
Oh, man.
so 138 add like roughly 13 to 14 hours on top of that.
No, thank
Oof, that's a lot. That's
is
a lot. So that's news, I guess. My other news item is I found an iDroid phone case cover that's pretty functional, but holy shit, there's a lot of listings that are around this price. They're all $1,800 on eBay.
That's so many money.
I know. I just don't
what?
even. The cheapest one on Amazon's like $900. I just don't like what.
This is
Yeah.
just a phone case?
Yeah, I'm assuming that it shipped with a copy of like a version of the game at one point in time for $5, but like now I don't know. It came up whenever I was looking up the Cody and Brandy Rhodes thing.
Yeah.
It was very weird. But yeah, let's talk about this hard time satire piece, which I'm sure will probably be about 2 weeks old by the time this comes out. But Hard Times, if you guys don't know, is sort of like an Onion-esque website. They usually do really good, funny like music writing. Typically, like talking about like different musicians and stuff. But they put a satire piece up that said that the Metal Gear Solid board game that releases in 2019 is going to ship with a 2,000-page dialogue book.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Which quite a few people on our Facebook page and other parts of the internet seem to think wasn't a satire piece until they opened it.
Oh no.
So I guess people assume that must be the case.
I mean,
it's
par for the course. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Did anybody have any other quick little news blurbs before we move on?
not related to Metal Gear, but
What
I can talk about.
What do you got?
I saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse last night.
Oh, was it good?
Oh, so good. You should watch it.
Really?
If only for the fact that it has, I think, probably the best post-credits scene in any Marvel movie ever.
Yeah, I spoiled it for myself, and it sounds hilarious, so I can't wait to see it.
It's so good.
I might carve some time out in the morning on Friday to go see it while Kristen's at work, because I doubt it'll still be in theaters whenever I come back from being overseas. So
It's the movie itself. It's a phenomenal movie. Soundtrack bumps. Like, it's a really good movie. You should see it.
nice. Yeah, I'm very excited. I don't know if a lot of listeners know this about me. I am a very, very hardcore, or at least was a very hardcore Spider-Man fan until I got to like 15, 16, roughly. But I honestly, other than Homecoming and maybe Spider-Man 2, have not been the biggest fan of the movies. So when I saw the trailer for Into the Spider-Verse, I was like, fuck, I actually really want to see that.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So cool. Well, that sounds good. Do you guys want to start talking about these parody games with Never Stop Sneaking?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Woo!
They're on to you. Now do you fight or
Cool. So yeah, this game. So Sam, fun fact,
Hi.
you were the first person on this podcast to take the plunge and jump into this one. I remember when I was visiting you in Seattle in January of 2018, almost a year ago.
Holy shit.
You had it on your Switch and you were playing it in your bed, and I was like, oh, I've been curious about that game. And so I watched you play a little bit of it. Tell me about your experience. Why'd you buy it? What'd you think about it?
I think I bought it because of a conversation that we had, because I don't think I knew that it was a thing until we had talked about it. And so I checked it out. And I bought it. It's like $15. I was like, yeah, okay. Because I had just gotten the Switch about like maybe 6 months before. And I was looking for stuff to buy for it. So I bought that for it. And yeah, it's pretty fun, if a little repetitive.
And long.
Especially towards the
long.
end. Good God.
Yeah, very much towards the end. It was, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Never Stop Sneaking was a game, came out in 2017. It was developed by Humble Hearts, who are known for Dust and Elysian Tale, which is like a furry slide scroller beat 'em up game with magic.
Yep.
It was
That's the best way to
by,
describe that game.
Yeah. It was published by Hyperduck, based in Ireland, a music company who worked on Ares and Dust. Came out for the PC, iPhone, iPad, and the Nintendo Switch.
I actually didn't realize that it was out on iOS devices until putting the notes together for this show, to be honest.
I didn't either. Yeah, I didn't either.
You want to know how I discovered it had touch controls? I was, fun fact, you will discover that this game is sponsored for me by a television program, because I was literally watching seasons and seasons and seasons of the Great British Baking Show while playing this game. But at one point, I wasn't really paying attention to the game, and not because I didn't do my due diligence, but because holy shit, does this game copy paste everything. I looked up from the Switch for a second and didn't realize, but I was actually like, I put my finger on the screen and was just kind of holding a direction, and I looked down and I was like, oh, my guy's moving. So like you can play this whole game like with the touch screen if you want. So anyway, sorry Sam, I'll let you continue.
It's okay. It's a top down kind of like stealth dungeon crawly.
It kind of looks and plays like pretty much like, other than the shoulders for the inventory, it looks pretty damn spot on Metal Gear Solid 1, I would say.
Yeah, I can see that.
You can't press yourself against walls. You can't do anything except for move, I think.
Yeah. Everything's done for you automatically. So like you take out guards, you take out cameras and stuff automatically. So you essentially just have to move around and avoid things.
Yeah, like essentially if you've got in your inventory the items that you need to do the thing, it will just do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know
if you get spotted and you have things that can stop you from being spotted, it'll do that automatically for you and use one of your things. So
yeah, it kind of like when you're doing well, it kind of feels like a Metal Gear Solid Hotline Miami mashup, I think.
Yeah. The one thing that I did like about it is that as I played it and got better at it, like my favorite thing to do was just like bump through these levels and see how fast I can get it done with, and just like as not because I was trying to like hurry it up and get it over with, but because like that's the challenge, to see how fast you can do it.
Isaac, before we kind of talk about it more in depth, do you want to give us kind of like your general overview, like your thoughts? What'd you play it on?
I got it on the Switch because I was going on a trip and I was like, I need to start playing this game. So that was the quickest and dirtiest way to get it rolling. And yeah, it was fun. The first your first experience is kind of fun. It's like new and it's not very hard, I would say. But as you get further up and you get further along, it's like, you start building things and then you keep building things. And then you keep asking yourself, when am I going to stop building things? And
the answer is never.
Never.
It's like, what is this land? It just keeps
much
going.
like how often you must sneak. Yeah, you must never stop building. You must never stop sneaking.
Yeah, we'll
And
talk
then,
about
like,
sort of the mechanics as well here in a second.
Yeah.
but continue.
I just feel like the levels should have maybe been shorter and concise. Like I guess I'm echoing what you guys are saying, but like a lot of them are just like 4, I guess what you could say is base levels, and then each one has 3 or so, 2 or 3 sub levels. And
that's the issue. It's like as you progress through the game, at first it's one level with 3 sub levels.
Yeah.
And then sort of to quote unquote add difficulty, or I'm not really quite sure what the point is, they just keep tacking on more and more and more. And so whenever you get sent to pick up like resources for your home base, which like I don't know, it seems like an incentive enough building up your base, but like well, you get to a certain point as you build up your base where you can't progress any further, and so they'll send you out on like, hey, go pick up XYZ so we can expand the base. And at first it's like, okay, I'm doing 3 quick little levels, this is fun, and then it becomes 6 levels, and then it becomes 9, and then by the time you get to like the last part of the game, it literally becomes 12 to 15 levels per mission. And so like, and dude, I'm not even kidding, because it's so repetitive, I would kind of zone out while watching TV. And what ended up happening was I would miss the fucking sub-level that the item was on, and you can't go back. And so on some of them, I would play 15 levels and then have to play another 15 levels.
Oh, God.
Yeah, dude, it was... And, like, that's on me. Like, I can't blame the game for that. Like, that's 100% on me. But at the same time, it's just like, dude... There has never been a better game to play while watching television, because this game is like you play it with one thumb and you hardly have to pay attention.
Right.
It's I don't know. And it's weird to say that and then in the same breath say, but I kind of liked it.
Well, I think the aesthetic of it was like very charming. Because like, well, I mean, it's meant to parody Metal Gear. Like, that's the whole point of the game. Is it's a Metal Gear. It's a love letter to Metal Gear, at the same time as it's calling out Metal Gear for how goofy it is.
Yeah, and specifically Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah, specifically, and that's the reason why I think I like it, even though it is very repetitive. One of the things I did want to mention is that the Colonel in this game is voiced by Aaron Hansen, aka Ego Raptor.
Oh yeah.
Who is of course the proprietor of the Metal Gear Awesome series, among other things.
It's pretty funny. And like the cutscenes and the dialogue and stuff are pretty funny. Like they're not...
Yeah.
I didn't find myself like laughing out loud, but like I smirked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like which is better than a lot of shit.
Yeah. Let's talk about you guys want to talk about the plot?
Of course.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty razor thin plot. But yeah, let's talk about sort of
It's a pretty funny
the
plot.
setup. Yeah. So what's his name? Major Milestone? Is that who Aaron plays?
I think
I
so.
think so,
That sounds
yeah.
right.
Yeah, so and they have the classic like don't have any eyes, but they have like indentations and like shadow where their eyes should be, and like they don't move their mouths. But it opens with like it's like we're just off the coast of some island. It could literally be like Shadow Moses, and we're on a aircraft carrier, and Major Milestone is talking to, I guess, does the agent have a name?
I don't recall.
I'm pretty... Yeah, he does.
The main character has a name? I can't remember. I think he just keeps referring to him as like agent, doesn't he?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay, Isaac, you can keep spot checking us
keep
while
looking.
we go through. But essentially, the premise is this guy named Guildenstern. Amadeus.
Amadeus
Guildenstern
Guildenstern.
has gone back.
That's why I don't think that he has a name, because like Major Milestone, Amadeus Guildenstern. Like I remember those names.
Oh yeah, they're insane. But Amadeus Guildenstern has created a time machine and has has kidnapped literally all of the presidents, and he's holding
including the bad
all
ones.
of them.
Not just
Yeah,
the good ones,
including the bad
all
ones.
of them.
And he's holding all of them hostage until his demands are met, which he wants to become the president. Is that right?
Yeah,
think so,
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Forever president.
And so what you have to do is at first you're building a base to encroach on Guildenstern's plans, and then the plan eventually becomes to build your own time machine so that you can go back to the timeline, the appropriate timeline, and arrest Guildenstern before he can build his time machine. And there are a lot of jokes about like Major Milestone describing the different timelines and stuff like that. There are some very, very, very funny cutscenes where in the middle of the description that Major Milestone gives you, you start seeing black and white real life camera footage of like people in offices. And it's just like 100% Metal Gear, and it kills me. There's some pretty good stuff. I will say the one Metal Gear idiosyncrasy that I did not like. Wow, Hideo-syncrasy.
Whoa.
Never put that together until just now. One of the idiosyncrasies that I really didn't actually find super funny, I just kind of found it annoying, was the title screen has like a fake Snake Eater song. It's like the Never
it's
Stop Sneaking
very
theme.
close.
It's so fucking loud when you boot the game up, like no matter what your volume is at. And like, I just kind of found it obnoxious after the first time.
Agreed.
But yeah, the game kind of feels like if somebody made a video game based on one of the skits we wrote for this podcast and then made the game like 11 hours long.
Yeah.
Like this game's long as fuck, you guys. I think my total playtime was like I played through the game and then I played through the beginning of it in sort of the new game plus just to unlock the last 2 characters that I had left to unlock. And I think my final playtime was like between 9 and 10 and a half hours.
Jeez.
Which is crazy given the type of gameplay that this game has.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, like, in theory, if you think about it, like if I explained the game to you in concept and then told you, and it's 11 hours long, you'd be like, ah, sick. But then, like, after a while, it's like, oh, this could have been good as, like, 5 hours long, even.
Well, because it's like every time you go on a mission, so it kind of takes on this, like, roguelite feature to it, where, like, kind of like your, like, Bindings of Isaac, or your, like, Rogue Legacies, or Enter the Gungeon, or whatever kind of roguelike game that you enjoy, which I typically do enjoy those kinds of games. You'll go out on a mission in this game and you start at 0 with like power-ups and stuff. And then by the time you get to the end of those levels, you have to have kind of collected power-ups as you've progressed. And depending on how developed your base is, you actually have access to a few new power-ups. But I feel like the frequency of power-ups that they introduce isn't enough. They don't really add any new verbs. So it's like the power-ups don't make you do new things. They just kind of augment the things that you're already doing.
They make you
which, like,
get through it faster, I guess.
Yeah, which like the fun of Binding of Isaac is like every time you pick up a power-up, it changes how the game plays.
Yeah.
And this, it's like it doesn't change anything. It just kind of boosts it. And I think the big problem is like once you're done with the missions, not only are the levels procedurally generated, but like you start back at 0 again every mission. So like by the time by the time you finish a mission, you're moving so fast and getting so much shit done, and it feels great that when you go back to start the next mission, you're like crawling in comparison, and you're just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Also, the characters and the weapon unlocks, I mean, there's a lot of them, but they don't really do anything.
Yeah, they're just cosmetic, I think.
Yeah, aesthetic.
It's kind of lame, but
Do you guys have a favorite character or weapon unlock?
I like the baseball bat. I think there was a baseball bat and a glove.
Have you seen the janitor stuff? I like it's like a cleaning spray and a plunger.
Oh God,
I like that one.
I used the banana.
Oh yeah,
banana in there somewhere. Oh, okay. So I'm sorry to bring us back.
Oh no, you're good.
There's not a lot of information about this game out there.
Yeah, I mean, so again, it's like hyper indie. Like this game was kind of released under the radar. I think a couple people wrote about it just because of the aesthetic,
like reviews. But anyway, I'm looking at a walkthrough, and the guy's name is Agent Hummingbird.
Oh, I remember.
But I don't think it's ever mentioned again. It's just like
it's like just at the top. Yeah.
Isaac was bound and fucking determined to figure out what this guy's name was.
Congratulations, Isaac. You get you get the most invested voice on the podcast award for Metal Gear Mondays number 90.
Stop sneaking.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my favorite character to unlock was you can unlock. So we didn't talk about the bosses, which we definitely need to talk about. But you can unlock Vice President Helicopter as a character.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, and instead of being like a giant helicopter, it's like a really tiny, like miniature version. It pretty much moves as if an invisible man is walking and carrying it. It's like what it looks like.
So good.
But I got the Vice President Helicopter, and I enjoyed having like the bow gun kind of deal, or like the janitor deal.
God.
But did you guys have any characters that you enjoyed?
Off the top of my head, I didn't get a chance to like refresh myself for the episode. So I'm struggling to remember them at the moment, but I'm sure I have several.
After you beat it, you can unlock Major Milestone and Guildenstern, and they're pretty fun to play with.
Hang on.
Are you booting it up?
You goddamn right, I'm booting.
Sam's booting it up. Isaac, do you have any favorites while Sam does that?
Of the Nintendo Switch?
I can't remember his name either, and I don't care to go down and get my Switch right now. There's so many to choose from.
With
Yeah,
so many indies on the Switch platform, I'm really kind of bummed out that there weren't more indies in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
True.
Like
Like Hyper Light Drifter would have been a fucking amazing Smash character.
what's her name from Battle Chef Brigade would have been dope too.
Oh, right. Oh man, we can hear
song,
it.
You hear it? You hear it?
Yep. All right, Samothy. While you do that, Isaac, let's go through the bosses real quick because there's not a lot of them.
Yeah.
And then we'll have Sam circle back up. So,
I'm just gonna keep the music playing while
you're fine. So the bosses, we just mentioned Vice President Helicopter. Essentially, it's a helicopter that kind of roves around the space, and you have to hide behind some shipping containers, and then occasionally a rocket launcher will drop from the sky, and you just have to pick it up and pop
also
off a
his
shot.
name is Vice President Helicopter.
Yeah, Vice President Helicopter is great. It's kind of the implication being that the helicopter is a president cracks me up. It's like from some weird alternate timeline.
That's exactly what that is.
Isaac, can you tell us about one of the other
Hey.
bosses offhand?
You got. Well, I don't know what their names are. You got these big baddies. That
is it two
come in-
dudes?
It's two dudes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Shad and Freud.
Okay. Oh wow. Interesting. So
Yeah,
you've got
you
all
just-
these massive shipping containers that you can hide behind, and they'll come searching for you and shooting at you, of course. And you just kind of like sneak and stab at
Yeah.
them.
And then we have Secretary of Education Bobbert, which I'm pretty sure is a reference to the Secretary of Education that was talking about like shooting bears. Do you guys know who I'm talking about?
Oh no.
The like, what's her name? It was like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know who I'm talking
I know
about.
who you're talking about. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, she not Secretary of Education because that kind of implies like almost British style government. She was no, I guess Secretary of Education. I was thinking Minister of
Yeah.
Education. But yeah, so
we have one of those barely.
yeah. So I guess it was just like a joke about that. But yeah, essentially it's the same as the Schadenfreude thing, except he's beefier. I guess.
Interesting. Okay.
It's just one dude. I'm trying to think of the other bosses. There's the Dr. Acula,
You
which
got-
kind of cracks me up.
Which one was that?
He's the guy where you have to illuminate the terminals, and then you have to lure him into the light.
That's good. There's the Sentinels or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're.
Oh
names
yeah,
are.
the little robots.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what they're called either.
I think it started
I-
out with like one or two, and then they increase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to activate like the little Tesla coils or whatever.
Yeah, and then they run across them and get electrocuted, and you bash them up, mash them up.
Is that all of them?
I feel like
Yeah, there's not a lot of bosses, which actually kind of frustrated me because like the pacing of the game, I kind of felt like there was going to be this big bad Amadeus battle at the end
Yeah.
or something, and it just never happened.
oh, see, I didn't beat the game because I was like
it just ends
over it. Really?
Like you build the last item, and then it just gives you like a cutscene, and like that's it.
What?
Yeah, and
I
then
guess
it
we'll
just
talk
like
about it.
throws you back in. Like at the end, it's just like, "What are you gonna do now, Major Milestone?" And he's like, a good agent never stops sneaking." And then it just like
Oh, no.
cuts to credits, and I was like, "God damn it!"
Did they
But-
at least get the presidents?
Yeah, it's like it all happens off
They go
screen.
back
Like
in
the
time?
cutscenes only have the two dudes in them ever.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you get, I mean, I'm assuming it's due to budgetary concerns, but yeah. So and then it drops you back in the game, and I was like, I have two guys left to unlock, and then it like gives them to you within the first like 20 minutes of you playing again, and I was like, oh, okay, that's
Sam,
all
did
of
you-
that.
All right, bye video game done.
Yeah. So
Did you
anyway,
beat the
Sam,
game,
did you find
Sam?
your guy?
Yeah, my I think the one that I wound up doing the most play with was 6, who's that little robot guy.
Oh yeah. So he's one of those robot bosses, I think.
Yeah,
The floating robot guy.
yeah.
Sam,
So you can play as him. So I like 6 a lot. What?
did you beat the game?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the crazy person. I just watched four seasons of Great British Baking Show
British
and
Bake Off.
soaked it in. Yeah, so this game was brought to you by Paul Hollywood and Mary Berry.
Very nice. I love that show, by
love
the
that.
way.
Dude, that show is
so
fucking
good.
amazing. That's my plug. My one cool thing for this episode is if you have not seen it, please go watch the Great British Baking
It's
Show.
on Netflix now, so you have
you
no
ever-
excuse.
Yeah, if you ever want to like feel there's a couple shows that I watch if I ever want to feel just really good, and that's Queer Eye, Terrace House, and Great British Baking Show. And
Well,
and,
like
and
Great
all
British
of those
Baking
are
Show,
on
just it's
Netflix.
so quaint. Like
Yeah,
right.
I a friend of mine told me that they tried to do an American version.
Yeah, they did.
And she said that she watched it and she was like, yeah, everybody was like real cutthroat and douchey. And in the British one, like even if they're your competition, like these people are just sort of like, excuse me,
They're
I'm
just
sorry,
real
I'm sorry,
friendly
love.
and
Do,
nice
do,
and-
do you need a hand? And it's
Yeah.
just like, whoa, dude. Like, it's beautiful. Like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It's like television
suck.
equivalent of a warm hug.
Yeah.
But-
That's the thing. It's just like that's what I mean. It's like Queer Eye is like that. Terrace House isn't so much like a warm hug, but it's like it's one of those things like you know how you watch reality shows, and like it's trashy television. It's like watching a reality show and getting that same feeling, but like knowing it's not trashy.
Yeah. That's a good
That's
way
what
to
I
put it.
like about it. So
Yeah.
like I watch Terrace House, Queer Eye, and Great British Baking Show, and they all make me feel very good in different ways.
So go do that. If you're not feeling good,
what-
holidays got you down, just put on some fucking British normal people rolling some Swiss rolls, and you're going to feel great. And maybe you'll want to bake something too. In which case,
Now
you
I'm
should send it to P.O. Box number. No, I'm kidding. We don't have a P.O. Box.
This was a mistake because now I'm playing Never Stop Sneaking
Don't
no,
do it.
Sam. Don't do
while
it.
we're recording the podcast.
Get that
It's
Yeah,
left,
never-
left thumb
Never
out.
Stop Sneaking may as well just be called Never Stop Fucking Playing This Game Ever Again.
I
It just goes on
I need
forever.
to
So
stop.
yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down. Would you guys recommend people check this game out? What are your thoughts?
I think overall thumbs up. I do think like it gets a little grindy and repetitive towards the end.
It
Not
just
a
runs
little,
out of
it gets
tricks.
very-
It's like somebody
Yeah.
told like a very shallow joke and then expected you to laugh at it for 11 hours.
Yeah. I think ultimately, I think for the price, I think it's good, and I think for what it does and what it is, I think it's very good. So I give it a ultimate thumbs up. Ultimately, through everything, it's a thumbs up, and I'm going to fucking turn this game off because I'm playing it and it's bugging me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it like a middle thumb, like sort of the
Middle thumb.
Gladiator,
Middle
like
thumb.
Like
right in
the-
middle, like
Joaquin Phoenix in the Gladiator still has yet to determine whether you should live or die. Like that's the thumb hand I'm gonna give it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think for certain people it'll be like a fun little, like if you're the kind of person who enjoys kind of having like a mobile game to tinker with on your phone while you're watching Game of Thrones or something. I don't know. I'm not the kind of
you
person who like I don't typically
pina
play
coladas.
games. I don't typically
Pina
play
colada.
games while watching television, but like if you're watching junk food TV with like a loved one and you just want something to fiddle with, I think this game checks that box fine and it makes you smile. If you're looking for something meaty, I don't know if this is it. Like I think you could spend that $15 on like Killer 7 for the PC on Steam and get like one of the best games ever made. Or you could spend that $15 on like half of the other indies in the Nintendo eShop for Switch and probably have like a better time. This game is fun. I just like don't know if it's anything other than like a distraction. Which like all video games are distractions, let's be real, but yeah, this one's like not, I don't know. This one doesn't have the facade of like I grew as a human while playing this. But yeah, I don't know. It's okay. Isaac, what do you think?
I'll give it a half thumb. So like if you
I'm gonna
can
give it a
imagine,
cut thumb.
like,
And oops, I hurt myself in the garage while cutting some crown molding thumb.
for the price that I paid, not worth it, unfortunately.
Whoa.
Because I pay $15. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
it
sure
is
you
cheaper.
guys
It
all-
is cheaper on the PC, by the way. So if you buy it
Yeah.
on Steam, it is $12. If you buy it on the Switch, it is $15.
So I think this would be a good like $10 game. I mean,
Yeah.
10 or 15 is not much of a difference, but like I don't know, for what you're getting.
Yeah, I think for what you get, I don't think it's quite as worth it.
I think if this game makes more sense as like a phone game. I think I could see myself playing it like on my phone if I lived where I had to take public transportation. Just like sitting there on the train and fiddling with,
It's
sneaking.
it's a very good shut off your brain and just don't worry about it game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it kind of like it feels like if you just want to like turn some knobs and feel like you're inputting something. I don't know. It's like playing with a fidget spinner or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of like it's there.
It's like you're doing it. It's keeping you busy. And
It's Metal Gear looking. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the
Okay,
same
fair
time,
enough.
it's kind of addicting. 'Cause you
Yeah,
start
there
playing
there
it.
were moments. So I will say, I don't think you guys got to this point. I do want to name check this really, really quickly, and it was on my list of notes, and I don't know why I didn't mention it till right now. There are 2 power-ups that you unlock very late in the game, like extremely late in the game. One of them is called Nano Plague, and the other one's called Tesla Coil. So Nano Plague, if you see a human on your screen, they die. Like it's like Fox die essentially.
crap.
Oh god.
And if you get Tesla Coil, anything like cameras or turrets just zap and die, like within your like 10-foot radius of your person or something.
So you're basically invincible.
So if you get both of them, it is literally just like I'm gonna run across the screen and get like a times 100 combo.
Yeah, it's just
And
easy
it
mode.
feels really good at the end of the game because you're like, I just want to get the fuck through with this.
Right.
And those moments I was like, yes, please. Like I just kept waiting because like there are these chests, I guess, for lack of a better way to call them. I guess they're like computer locked containment vessels. They'll spit out random power ups, and so I did spend like the first few levels of every like late game mission being like, am I gonna get it? Am I gonna get it? Am I gonna get it? And then you get it, and you're like, hell yeah.
That's awesome.
But you can't hurt bosses with it though, unfortunately. So.
Well,
But yeah, I don't know. That part was good. It felt empowering. But I think what would have fixed this game for me is if you took this gameplay mechanic and instead of doing this procedurally generated fucking iPhone mission structure, if you're going to put it on the Switch or the PC, here's a fun fact. Maybe design like a really big base and like make me have to remember the layout and actually do shit.
yeah.
Because, like, if it played like this, but it had a Shadow Moses, like, persistent environment, I would probably really dig it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because then you could kind of bake in, like, a progression system where, like, you only get the power-up once, but you have to find it. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But now we're just, like, backseat game developing, so that's...
Backseat developing.
But yeah, so are you guys good on Never Stop Sneaking? Is there anything else you wanted to mention before we move on to our next parody game?
Nah, let's do it.
Dope.
In my love and emotion, overcome all my doubts and my fears. Will you come close and tell me that you'll be here every year after year after year?
All right, so we're talking about Mary Gear Solid Secret Santa.
It's a good.
Santa Claus!
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Santa real?
Santa's not real.
Santa Claus!
So what Sam is quoting is the death screen at the end of the first game. All right, so Sam, hit us with what the fuck am I thinking of? Context. What's the context of this? What are we doing?
Okay. Mary Gear Solid is God. It's kind of like the whole concept of it is you play as Santa.
I can't not hear you, by the way, right now, screaming like those kids. Like, if you hear me like giggling, it's because like I'm still hearing like Santa.
Claus. Which I will mention, the voices got way better in the second one.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, so you play as Santa Claus, and you are guided through the game by your support, Tiny Tim, aka Major Tim.
It's hilarious.
And a secret person who's on burst transmission called Santa's Little Helper.
Santa's Little Helper.
So your whole thing is that in the wake of 9/11,
hold on.
Yeah.
I can't believe in the same paragraph that you're describing a holiday themed Metal Gear Flash game, you just opened a sentence with "in the wake of 9/11."
Oh, jeez.
And there's no other way to open that sentence. That's the plot.
I know. It's just so
He's
good.
doing this because he can't because of 9/11. They didn't want him to come off as a terrorist threat with his sleigh flying through the air, so he has to infiltrate this house, which has so many floors and so many children.
Yeah, I think it's 10 floors, right, total?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 floors.
So you have to sneak up through the house to deliver the presents to the tree on the top floor for whatever reason. The tree is on the top floor.
Well, you can't forget the address, Sam. The address of the house is 14015.
Hideo Drive. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, 14015 Hideo Drive.
Which is the codec frequency for Holly White and Meryl, by the way.
So you have, Hori White.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
As she is known to our Japanese brothers in the East.
Yeah. So you have to infiltrate this house to deliver the presents to the tree on the top floor without being spotted, and that is the general premise for that's your box quote there.
Yeah. This one, so the second game's much longer. This one's 30 minutes roughly?
Yeah, a little bit, pretty short.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It was, so real quick, it was developed by a guy named Arthur Lee. The title screen references Insignificant Studios. It's an indie pub, this is indie as fuck. Go to the guy's website and download it off of that kind of deal. Yeah. But based on the website, it looks like it was created for the Daily Clicks grid-based Christmas game competition in 2006. And this game won the grand prize. I don't know. It's good. It's billed as holiday espionage action, which cracks me up. And I think this game, the second one had a much more robust cast, but I think this game, it's just this guy, Duncan Roberts, doing all of the voice acting.
Yeah. Santa Claus!
Me and Isaac were talking about this a little bit off mic before the recording started tonight. The vibe of the graphics definitely remind me of Game Boy Advance-esque Pokemon games.
Yes.
I don't know if you got that too, Sam. The interior color in particular.
So you know what it kind of reminded me a little bit of Earthbound.
Oh yeah, I could see that too. It's fun. You just control it with your keyboard, and you do have to click the mouse for one of the abilities, which I thought was awful.
Yeah, there's a couple things that happen in this game that kind of frustrated me.
Yeah.
As far as timing and stuff like that, I think I got up to the 8th floor, I want to say it is, or not or the 6th floor, right after you get the camera, and there's a line of children with two going back and forth, and and then use the camera. It's just this big old deal, but
yeah, I felt
a couple of questionable choices.
Yeah, that one gave me a little bit of difficulty until I figured it out. The one right after that with the 3 kids up in the top left with the laser floor. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god,
that one fucked me up. You have to go around, and then you have to put the camera behind them, and then you have to it's complex.
Yeah, I absolutely did not do it that way. I broke it
I
and
didn't
just tricked them out and then blinded them and ran for it eventually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, lucky you.
Yeah. But yeah, so like Sam mentioned, there's 10 floors. Let's talk about kind of the gadgets that you get. So there's some holiday themed Metal Gear gadgets that you get throughout.
You get a present that you could sneak in, and the only reason why the kids don't bum rush the present is because it has bombs in it. Which
Oh yeah, and the reasoning was really funny. Major Tim's like, they're not going to rush you because there's bombs in the box, and Santa, who goes by Solid Santa for some reason,
Santa,
he's like, are there bombs in the box? And Major Tim's like, I made you think they were, didn't I? And he was like, well, yeah. And he's like, well, you're not going to want to open it if you think there's bombs in it. And he's like, well, why do they think there's bombs in it? And he's like, well, let's not correct them. And it's like, okay. Like that,
so,
it's
like
very
the whole
bizarre.
game is filled with like weird shit that's just like, it is if you believe it is. It's like fucking all right. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, the dialogue's
like,
really funny.
Like, the dialogue. He's like, are you really gonna question a game about Santa Claus or something like that? It's very funny.
Yeah, I let's edit in some of the opening codec moment here, just for people to.
Would you maybe say cue it here, Alessio?
Yeah, I would.
Oh, okay.
Cue it here.
Nick, it's been a long time, Tiny Tim. Oh, they stopped calling me that 20 years ago. Just Tim will do. 20 years? Yes, it's been 20 years since the Ebenezer Eve incident. The world has changed since then. Military surveillance crafts have been circling the skies in a response to the 9/11 attacks 6 years ago. That's why it's far too risky to let you deliver presents the traditional way. The traditional way? We can't risk having you spotted soaring through the sky on a sleigh. With the nation on high alert as it is, there's far too great of a chance you'll be branded a national threat. So that's why I'll be delivering gifts by foot, I presume. Precisely. This is a top-secret covert mission. From this point on, we'll be referring to each other by codenames. My codename will be Major Tim, and yours, Nick, will be Solid Santa. Solid Santa? There's a nice ring to it. So what's the mission? Your mission is to infiltrate this house and to deliver the presents you've got in your sack to the Christmas tree, located on the topmost floor. Sounds easy. It's not as easy as it sounds. Most people are asleep at this hour, but a couple of naughty children might be wandering around trying to get a peek of their presents before morning. So I get to throw coal at them, right? No. This is above everything else a stealth mission. You must not be discovered or the mission will be a failure. Do whatever it takes to stay out of the enemy's field of vision. To make things easier, you'll need to make use of any tools you find in the house. I'll be giving you advice and instructions via codec. My frequency is 012.25. Alright. Commencing Operation Secret Santa.
But yeah, no, I thought it was pretty funny. And so other than the present, let's go through the rest of the items. So there's the candy cane, which you can use to see the lasers for some reason. I don't know. What is it called? It's a seeing eye.
It's See's Candy brand candy cane. And he uses it like the cigarettes when you have it equipped. He's smoking it and you can see the lasers.
That's pretty funny. The other one is a digital camera on a tripod that the kids will approach, and then it'll flash and make them blind for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what's the last item? It's the gun, but it's not called the polar gun. That's in the second one.
It's a Nerf gun.
That's right. It's a custom Nerf gun with tranquilizer bullets. The thing that I hated, though, the kids go down for like 3 seconds. Mm-hmm. Like they barely go down.
The CQC in the second game is amazing.
Oh yeah, just the animation alone.
The animation and the sound it plays is magnificent.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I enjoyed this game. Let's talk about the. Do you guys want to talk about the twist?
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
So there's you get a codec call when you are introduced to the laser floors for the first time from somebody who sounds just like Snake.
Yeah, Santa's little helper.
Yeah, he introduces himself as Santa's little helper, and he's like giving clues to Solid Santa, but he doesn't like give it all away like really easily. And he goes, "That's why I'm Santa's little helper, not big helper," or whatever he says, which is really funny. But he'll call you a couple times during the game, and you make your way all the way up to the top floor, and you deliver the presents, and then Major Tim tells you that you have to go all the way back down because he had to pad the game length somehow. And then you start walking out, and one of the presents starts moving, and then you're like, "What the fuck?" And then you have to unequip the box, and you are now playing as just Solid Snake. So you get the snake sprite and you sneak up to Solid Santa and he goes freeze, and you find out that Solid Santa is is Big Boss's brother, right?
Oh yeah, was it? It's
Big Beard.
Oh, it's from Los Beardos Project
Yes.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
and Big
God,
Boss,
it's super funny.
It's just it's this big old thing. So then
Yeah, but so
Snake
Santa
kills
is
Santa.
Big Beard, who is
Big Beard, yeah.
Big Boss's twin brother, but Big Boss got all the recessive genes and ended up becoming a soldier, while Big Beard became Santa Claus.
Yep. So figure that out. But yeah, and then Snake kills Santa. So
Yeah, that's what it ends with, is Snake killing Santa Claus. And it's pretty dark. They retcon some of this in the second game, but they do a pretty good job of kind of explaining it away. But yeah, that's I was a little surprised. I had no idea that was happening whatsoever.
yeah.
Yeah. But ultimately, what did you guys think? Did you guys enjoy this one?
I enjoyed it. Like I said, there were a couple of like little frustrating parts, but I think for what it was and for what it was trying to do, I think it was fantastic.
Nice. Isaac, what were your thoughts? Did you mainline this sucker last night like Sam and myself did, or did you take your time and gingerly parse through it?
Gingerbreadly.
I did it this morning.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
So, but I was about to, I guess, back on my experience on this, I was about to not finish the game because, I'm sorry, on floor 8 with the line of children or whatever, I kept on dying, and at one point I hit the like the left or the right arrow key, which quits the game.
And if you quit, it doesn't save
And
your shit.
you have to do it all over again. And I did that not once, but twice.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
Isaac, you
I was
learned
done
the
with-
first time.
I tried my fingers.
My
But then
fingies.
I looked at a video and I saw that there was only like 2 more floors. So I was like, I need to finish it. So
When did you play the second one?
this afternoon.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's much else for us to say about this one. Did you guys get a ranking at the end?
Yep.
Yes. I got Mastodon, I think.
Holy crap.
Oh, nice. Me and Isaac both got Mammoth.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the one.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So we all got Mammoth.
It's the same thing, yeah.
I got 10 shots fired, 32 film used. It took me 895 seconds, and I was discovered 26 times.
Santa Claus!
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, it was okay. I enjoyed it. The second game is much more of a game
Yeah,
than this
it's way more
sucker.
robust and crazy.
So. Metal Gear Solid 2: Ghosts of Christmas Past. Isaac, do you wanna start us off with a little quick primer on what this is and how long Mr. Lee took to spit this sucker
Mr.
out?
Lee. Oh, well, yeah, let me pull up the notes real quick.
Oh,
not,
yikes.
not my notes, your notes. So Metal Gear Solid 2 was
I hear
was
that scroll
released-
wheel.
Yeah. I was on the wrong game. Metal Gear Solid 2 was released in 2009, so it took 3 years from the first one, but it took him 3. I don't think you have the quote here, but he said something like excruciating, agonizing months.
Like headache-inducing months for
Yeah.
some reason. Yeah, I don't
And
know
there's
why
a-
he fucking mainlined this
Did
thing
it.
in 3 months.
And there's a line in there in the game where he's like, "This game was built on a $0 budget in 3 months." Blah blah blah. So that was that. So Mr. Arthur Lee did it again.
Arthur Lee.
Oh, I love this one because at the beginning of this one, it starts out with a.
Yeah.
But then it
Instead of
segues
Konami
into
Computer
like
Entertainment
a-
of Japan, it says Insignificant Studios of the USA.
it segues into like some Christmas song. I can't remember.
Oh, dude, the main sneaking theme for Metal Gear Solid 2 is definitely. Is it This Christmas? Oh shit! What is the?
There's a couple themes in there.
Is it called
Yeah,
Last
there's a few.
Christmas?
I think it might be.
I think.
yeah.
I mean,
The
if
Wham
it's-
song? Yeah, so it's definitely
Which,
like,
like,
the. Oh, it's
I'm
so
pretty
good.
sure it is because I think I made a mental note that I lost Whammas this year because of this game.
Yeah, it's
You ever played-
wild.
Have you ever played that game before? Wham? Like I think there's different names for it, but essentially, you have to see how long you can go during the holiday season without hearing "Last Christmas" by Wham.
Oh god.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Have you never played that?
No,
before?
I've never played that.
It's a very good game, and you find that it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Jesus. But yeah, in the middle of the like sneaking music, it'll sound very Metal Gear, and then in the middle of it, you're like, wait a minute, and you can like hear the like there's like some jingle bells, and if you notice, they're playing like the like in the background. It does a really good job of like sounding Metal Gear as fuck, and then like taking a hard turn.
Yeah. The music's
into
pretty
Christmas.
good actually. For just one guy, I'm impressed.
Yeah. Speaking of music, which I noticed in your notes, you didn't bring this up, and I think it's very important to bring this up. Is that there's a point in the game where you ride an elevator.
Oh
God.
I did
Long
forget to write
elevator
that
ride.
down.
It's a parody of
Yeah.
like the ladder boss. You have the elevator boss with the music, the snake eater sounding song playing in the background.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty great.
They make you listen to the whole thing.
It's great.
It's good. It's okay.
But yeah, I'll let you continue.
Anyway, so published by himself and I guess Insignificant Studios, made for the PC. Summary is set years after the events of the first game, Metal Gear Solid 2 sets Old Snake on an adventure to retrieve Santa's hat from an extremist group known as the Ghosts of Christmas Past. Using an array of new tools and returning favorites, Solid Snake must infiltrate Outer Savin Mall
Oh my god, dude, that killed me.
and prevent the ghosts from taking control of the SOC, Spirit of Christmas, system.
Dude, the one that killed me the most was PNCs. Like Otacon kept referring to PNCs, and Snake's like, "What's that?" And Otacon would go, "Pretty naughty children."
Or CQC.
Fucking died, dude.
What was CQC?
Oh man, I can't remember.
Something
Oh,
Quiet
God, I
Children
can't.
or yeah.
Oh
it was-
no,
It
yeah,
wasn't
it's
like
something quiet children.
Candy's Quiet Children. Or
yeah.
something?
Yes.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
good.
it's God, they do a really good job. Well, the guy who they have voicing Otacon does a really convincing Otacon too. Mm-hmm. And I love like the little codec illustration for Otacon.
Yeah, it's like the little cartoon Otacon from Metal Gear Solid 2 almost.
Yeah. Did you guys read the previous ops section?
No, I didn't. But
So one of the things that we didn't mention from the first game is that Tiny Tim talks about he mentions something called the Ebenezer incident during Metal Gear Solid 1, and Solid Santa's just sort of like, "Oh, don't worry about it, no sweat." But in this one, they actually break down what the Ebenezer incident was,
Oh god.
and it's like Bob Cratchit like paid Solid Santa to like kill Tiny Tim or to kill Ebenezer Scrooge.
Whoa.
And it was like the first time in like the history of the world that Santa Claus like killed a human being.
Whoa.
And so it's like implied that Ebenezer Scrooge like died at the hands of Santa Claus, which then plays into the twist at the end of this game. But it blew my mind. The Ebenezer incident completely cracked me up. I'm gonna see if I can pull up the script for it. Sam, do you want to talk about the gist of what's happening at the top of this game while I pull up the script for the previous ops?
So basically you go in on the roof of the Outer Savin Mall, and it's kind of laid out very similarly to the helipad of Shadow Moses in Metal Gear Solid 1. And you have to kind of infiltrate this small to find the hat and stop the ghosts of Christmas past. And the first thing you'll notice is that, of course, it looks a little bit better. Not a little bit better. It looks way better. The sound, the music's better. The sound effects are better. Snakes like walking noise is the best thing ever. And then you'll also immediately notice that there's more detail to like there's a life bar, and there's like more detail to your inventory and stuff. You can also move in multiple directions instead of just like up, down, to the side. So you'll immediately notice that the game is way more complex than the first one, and it's super interesting. But yeah, you have to sneak past more children who do not sound quite as they do in the first one. It's not.
Yeah, they're
nearly
definitely
as
not.
jarring.
Did you hear at one point? I swear to God, I heard the kids say, and maybe I was hearing things. I swear I heard them say, "Punch me."
Whoa.
Did you hear them say that?
I don't know about that
I
one.
don't think
I would
so.
hear them just kind of like ambiently talking to themselves, and I swear to God, I'd hear one of them just say like, "Punch me," and I'm like, okay,
God.
this is creepy.
Masochistic kids.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a Vine that, or an Instagram post that I saw. This Instagram comedian. He goes, he does this Vine where he goes like, where am I? And then he was kidnapped by a cannibal. He says, I'm a cannibal. I've kidnapped you. And then he goes, are you gonna eat me? He says, well, yes. He says, and he just starts freaking out. He's like, eat me. I've been waiting for so long. Just end it. Eat me.
Oh my gosh.
And then it's funnier than it sounds.
Okay.
Now that I'm thinking about it, explaining it. But yeah, you should go look at Dope Island on Instagram.
Wow.
Eat me.
Eat me.
Sounds creepy.
So unfortunately, I'm recording this on a Macintosh computer where I cannot access the exe file for this game.
Boo.
And I've been trying to find
Alessio,
somebody.
boo.
I know. I'm trying to find somebody who posted the playthrough of the game on YouTube, and everybody keeps skipping through the previous ops. So believe me when I say that it's funny. I just can't seem to find anybody. Nobody wrote it down anywhere either. I don't know if it'll be as funny, but I do have like this first page. It's like Mary Gear, Ebenezer Eve incident, December 1986. After completing the first ever red nose, and then parentheses, red light emitting diode based navigation over sea and earth, guided present delivery. St. Nick was accidentally discovered by Bob Cratchit while discovering presents to his small Camden town home. It's very funny. It's like 5 pages, and that was the first page, so it's like pretty short. But yeah, so that's that whole deal. This game's pretty fucking tough, man. Like, one of the things that me and Isaac were talking about before Sam hopped on as well was how this game almost feels like lost levels for some of the old Metal Gear titles. Sam, did you have any particularly tough parts in this game?
I think mostly, and I get it. I don't think necessarily the game was too super challenging. There were a couple of I think the line of sight and like them spotting you sometimes was a little rough.
Yeah, it's like outside of the cone. Like if you see the end of the cone, add like another couple of pixels, and like that's really where the cutoff is.
Yeah, so it can get frustrating sometimes when you think that you're in a place where you're not going to be seen, and then you have to repeat a section because it is you got seen. So that can be a little bit frustrating, but I think the general challenge of it isn't too bad. I think mostly, and I appreciated it at the same time as I was annoyed with it, but like the codec calls, man, they happen so much.
Well, and the problem too
And
is if you I tapped control on a couple of them just to kind of skip to the next screen, because like I read it faster than the voice actors read it. And in the first game, if you hit control it goes page by page by page. In this one, if you hit control, it just like fucking speeds through all of it.
Yeah.
So like I had to like lovingly tap it, and it would still like skip over some of the dialogue, and I was just like, great.
Yep. So it's that, and I've done that before too in the actual Metal Gear games where I press the button on accident and just speed through the whole thing. I'm just like, fuck, didn't want to do that. So
Yeah, I think the difficulty for me started to kind of hit an upswing where I felt like I was actually doing better once you get the Nova cane, which is like the CQC cane.
Yeah,
it's like a little.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great. You like throw a kid down pretty fucking hard and knock him out. Once you get the Novocaine or the Polar Gun, which is essentially just the Nerf thing from the first game again, it gets a little bit more manageable. But like for the good first half of the game, like you're just kind of backtracking through some pretty fucking tricky spots with no way to kind of deal with enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like it doesn't let you punch any of the enemies, and so you're just kind of you got to sneak.
They do give you a mounted deer head that you can use to slide against walls.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That makes you turn invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. So there's that. And there is a point where you have to backtrack all the way.
Oh, it happens like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So that kind of sucks.
Was not a fan of that part. But.
Yeah. I mean, given that we very much did not like it in the original game, I can't imagine why.
Yeah. Do you guys want to talk about the boss fights?
Yes.
Yeah, the boss fights are great. There's 2 of them, and they're fucking crazy. So, like, neither of them, I would say, are traditional boss fights. And you can kind of slam the C key over and over and over and get Otacon to kind of spoil the trick.
Yeah,
I like
but
the
they're pretty great.
spoil.
Yeah, the first one is spoil surprise. Yeah, the first one is Jack Frost, right? Is that Jack Frost's son or something like that? But it plays on the end battle where you have to set your computer's time forward a couple weeks to spoil the milk that he's using as a weapon.
Yeah, he's like throwing milk bottles at you.
Yeah, and his blood is milk, so you have to spoil his milk, spoil the milk that is his blood, so that he can you can kill him that way.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, and they kind of reveal it, too, because he keeps talking about white blood, and then Otacon's like, that's not blood. That's milk, Snake. But yeah. The other boss I liked quite a bit. Also, it's kind of implied from this game that Jack Frost is Frosty the Snowman's son. Did you guys pick up on that? It was weird.
You did a weird glitchy thing, so I didn't hear anything you just said.
Sorry about that. So I don't know if you guys picked up on it during the Jack Frost boss fight. They kind of imply that Jack Frost is Frosty the Snowman's son. Son.
Yeah. That was. I think that was that was the implication, was that he's Frosty's son and that he'll be back again someday. They very much play into that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Siri went off because she sucks. But yeah, the second boss I liked quite a bit too. So there's kind of this fun moment where Snake, I'm not sure if he gets drugged or what happens. He's in the gas room. So
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what happens, but
yeah, this is my big sticking point. Was there's a moment where you take a mistletoe missile instead of a Nikita missile.
Oh man, the way
it's
they
just a missile
that,
with lips on it, which cracks me up.
I was like, I don't know. This one was a little cringy.
No, yeah.
He said, what do they call it? Kiss. He said something about kissing children, and I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? And
yeah, it was a little.
Yeah, it was a little much.
Ugh. But yeah, so you use the mistletoe rockets to break an electrical panel, and holy shit, did I have to redo this part so many times. Just because it's so fast and everything kind of starts to blend together. But once you leave that area, I can't remember what it is, but something knocks Snake unconscious.
Yeah,
and
you wind up at the top floor of the house from the original game.
Yeah, and you're naked, which is funny. You're a little pixelated.
The tadpoles, they ambush you.
Oh, that's what it was.
In the elevator, yeah. Right? It was in the elevator?
In the elevator, yeah. They played
Yeah,
off of Metal Gear
The first
Solid.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because you
Icon.
go in and you've got the what's it called? Infrared. What is it called? It's called something else.
I forgot what it was called. But
Yeah.
no, Otacon comes over or no, the elevator just like beeps at you and freezes
Yeah.
and says something
Oh,
about
that's
the
right.
weight limit.
I just put them on because there's like
Oh.
5 boxes in there.
Can you see
Yeah,
through? See them?
No, I put them on ahead of it because I knew that it was going to hit me with a gimmick. I was like, I know they're going to do the elevator trick.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thinking of it. But yeah, anyway, so you leave the house dazed and nude in the sort of first game levels again, which is pretty cool playing through that. And then you get to the bottom and outside, and this is sort of revealing kind of the big bad for the game. There's a sleigh that they're trying to power with 3 passwords from the 3 wise men, which are the 3 wise men from Christmas, from Christian.
From Christian.
And they're trying to use the passwords to power this sleigh that will allow somebody to be essentially like the replacement Santa Claus. And you come outside, and one of the ghosts of Christmas past, the third fella, we only see 2 of them, but I think it's implied who the third one is, right? Mm-hmm. So this is the ghost of Christmas's future. He hates technology. And he's like futzing around with this thing outside, and Snake confronts him, and you have this like Metal Gear battle or whatever, Merry Gear battle, where the guy keeps shooting you with, he keeps shooting at your feet, is what they say if you check the codec, and it knocks you down. He's not trying to kill you, but what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to deliver a package, but there's like, I was confused. I was like, do I get in one of the boxes and hide by the mailbox? Like, what do I do?
Oh yeah.
And finally, Otacon tells you that like there may be a package buried in the files of the game. And at first, I think he tells you early on, he's like, check the back of the Blu-ray for the codec call number for the burst transmission. And Snake's like, Blu-ray? And Otacon's like, oh yeah, this was distributed online. So they make like a big joke about online distribution again during this boss fight. But you grab some files out of the game folder and drag them into the window of the game, and they equip you with these PSG, which is like a package of smoke grenades. Mm-hmm. And that's how you beat this boss, which I thought was really cool, actually. One quick thing about the cardboard box that we didn't mention. So one of the cardboard boxes will actually slowly drain your your O2 gauge.
Yeah, but you very quickly afterwards get the box that has air holes in it.
Yeah, but it just cracks me up that it's like a box with no air holes, and it like suffocates you while you use it.
He's like, Otacon goes, those holes in there are for lifting the box, right? Not for breathing.
Yeah, it's great. Sorry, Sam. I did not mean to not join you in the laugh.
I guess that sucks. I'll go bye now.
Oh no! But yeah, effectively, they do the whole thing. So at the end, you use that. You take control of Merry Gear, and then Otacon calls you, and he's like, "What are you gonna do now, Snake? Now that the mission's over?" And Snake's like, I guess I'm gonna become Santa Claus. And Otacon's like, all right, buddy, it was nice knowing you. And then the credits roll, and they do this very funny thing like Metal Gear Solid 4 does, where in the middle of the credits, it lands on this credit for Santa Claus, and then it just stops. And it's like, oh, shit. And then Santa Claus shows up, and he's like, essentially, I guess it's sort of implied that he's the third ghost of Christmas Past. Yep. And he just kind of explains that, like, he knew that Major Tim was trying to double cross him, and so he's the one that fed the fake story to Snake about something, about the, and we totally missed this joke, about the ha he ho ho ho. Oh, dude, it killed me. The ha he ho ho ho. Oh man, that's real good. Anyway, so long story short, Snake talks about all the double crossings and triple crossings and all this stuff, and Santa Claus is like, "Hey, I'm gonna take my sleigh back," and Snake's like, "All right, buddy," and they part ways. But then there's a post-credit sequence in classic fashion, and it's revealed that Ebenezer Scrooge isn't dead. and that he planned the whole thing.
Yikes.
Which, like, let's take a second real quick to camp out here. And I don't know if Sam, if you knew this, me and Isaac discovered that there is a trailer for a Mary Gear Solid 3.
Yes, I saw. I did not get a chance to watch it, but I saw that it existed. It was like in 2010, I think, is when it came out.
Yeah, it's in 3D as well, believe it or not.
Yep.
There's like a little snake. It's pretty cool. You have like I can't remember what it was called. It was like a Mazda Nagant style sniper rifle, but when you shot it, it like sent a scary man to spook the kid and knock him over. There was one of the funny things. If you hold somebody up from behind, Snake goes freeze, and the kid literally froze and became like a little popsicle. It was pretty funny, but yeah, it was like chibi 3D MGS1. But I guess it's just not going to get made because guy's website, Arthur Lee's website, hadn't been updated since like 2013.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate. But yeah, what'd you guys think of Mary Gear Solid 2?
Very, very good. I think it did a great job playing up all of the tropes that Metal Gear kind of latches onto. It was very good. I thought it was very good.
Yeah, I thought the music and the production values and everything, this was really good. Like, if you like Mary Gear Solid 1, this is just bigger and better. It does go a little long and drag out towards the end, but, like, I don't know, the jokes are pretty frequent, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I could do without the multiple backtracking, but other than that, I mean,
I think
very
the
good
backtracking
game.
Yeah, the backtracking, and I think some of like the weird like sighting issues that you have with the PNCs. But yeah, I agree.
I mean, backtracking would have been okay, but backtracking all the way to the beginning and then going all the way back was a little much. But I did enjoy it in my short time that I played with it.
Very good. So yeah, that one gets a thumbs up. And both Mary Gear and Mary Gear 2 are free at Arthur Lee's website, which is superfundungeonrun.com. They're free, but they're .exe files. So kind of like you heard me on the show just now talk about. You can only play them on PC. So,
And he's got a whole bunch of other games too.
Yeah, the guy actually does some pretty good work. I'm kind of bummed that he hadn't put anything out in a while because I thought he was doing some pretty neat stuff.
There's a Half-Life 2 that he did. Half-Life 2.
Yeah, I think it's a mod, right?
Jake and Bacon Source. Oh, I don't know. Oh, it's a Half-Life 1 mod.
Old school, baby.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Productive guy, young kid, kind of experimenting with video games. I liked his output, and I really enjoyed both of these, Mary Gear and Mary Gear 2. So yeah, I would check them out. If you don't have a PC to play them on, you can check out some people did some long plays on YouTube. So check those out. But yeah, this is the part of the show where we are going to now cover 3 hand-picked listener responses to close out the year. Say
We're
Happy
like
New
the-
Year's.
We're like the parents who like say you have to do this, and then we give the kid the thing anyway.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because
but
we're
I
just
thought
like, you
these were
have
good.
to get your responses in by the 15th. And we're just gonna
Yeah.
read them anyway. But I know what you're about
Yeah.
to say, and I agree. These are good responses, so we're reading them.
Yeah, so let's do it.
Why is there a box here?
Listener response is Isaac. I find it appropriate that you and I two-man this, considering that we were on the episode. Sam.
Sure.
Excuse me.
I'll give Sam different Sam's letter further
Oh,
down.
of course.
That's fine. I also want to bring. I could make you feel real bad about that joke, but I'm not gonna because I'm a good person.
Yay! Well, it was in the letter. It was in the letter itself. So anyway, yeah. So let's do this.
I don't see that part. My bad.
I'm gonna get us started. So this letter is coming from good friend of the show, Nick Freda. It's been a minute. Hi, Nick. We love you. We wish you the best. Hope everything's going well. He writes about From Russia with Love. I kept this rather uncut because of how much awesome information he put in here. let's tackle it. Isaac, do you want me to take the first half?
Wow, excuse me.
Yeah, I also had something in my throat. I apologize.
I figured maybe we could go paragraph by
Sorry,
paragraph. This thing is
I
like
wanted to be part of it too.
an essay.
All right,
A
let's do
very
it.
nice
So here-
essay.
Yeah, here we go. So I'll start us off. Nick writes, I was super excited that you guys decided to cover a James Bond film for the show, and you fellas picked a very unique one in the series, and one of my favorites of the 24 movies that I've watched countless times growing up.
There's so many movies.
How did he
Yeah,
watch
right.
Spectre while growing up? I'm confused.
Well, you know, time
They were
travel.
Nick continues, they were a big part of my childhood. We used to record them on VHS during marathons, and I could not get enough. I'm certain
Dude.
it inspired some of my love of the Metal Gear series on a subconscious level.
My family used to do the exact same thing. Not with Bond films, but we would record them on VHS tapes.
Oh, dude,
That's
we
hilarious.
had boxes of VHS tapes when I was a kid.
I guess
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the thing
God,
that
yeah.
we did.
I
Everybody
love
did.
that our parents were very anti-pirating music, but they were also very like, we're gonna rip off the entire blockbuster.
It's true. That's never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right, Isaac.
I kind of, well, just based on that paragraph, I kind of wish we had covered the first one, Doctor No, just because you've
yeah.
watched it, but like I had this was my first Bond film ever.
Yeah.
And apparently it tied into Doctor No, and that would have been nice, but oh well.
Nice, but not entirely needed. Because I
True.
did want to watch it. I did watch the movie in anticipation for the show, and then a bunch of stuff happened. But it's nice to have, but not necessarily needed.
Okay.
Yeah, because I
That's good
hardly
to know.
remembered anything from Doctor No, and I feel like I knew enough to give.
It's pretty good because you have what's his name's recapping son in that movie. So
Anyway,
Kareem.
Karimbe. or the girl Ali Karimbe. Ali Karimbe. Anyway, Nick continues. The James Bond movies are oftentimes formulaic and full of tropes. Just ask Austin Powers. But what makes From Russia with Love unique is that in being the second film in the series, sequel to the successful Doctor No, it was still in the franchise's developmental stages, finding its way, and is just a really great Cold War spy detective film that's unchained to any formula. The initial film, Doctor No, is unique for that reason too. The buddy element between James Bond and Kareem Bey isn't something you see very often in the later films. He's a really lovable character, and sadly that actor was dying from cancer while making this film, to the point where they bumped up his scenes in the filming schedule because he wanted to finish the film to support his family. He would always put his game face on while the cameras rolled.
oh, dang, I had no
Whoa,
idea
dude.
about
Yeah,
I did
that-
not know that.
Yeah, that was one of the. So Nick's got a lot of juicy info
Juice.
nuggets in here, and that was one of them that I was like, oh my god.
That's cool. I mean,
that. Well,
not
not
that he
cool.
died, but like cool that he was able to. They were able to accommodate that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
huh.
Yeah, it was good. I'll do these two paragraphs since the first one's like a sentence. In regard to the formula again, though, it wasn't really until Goldfinger, the third film and a must-see in the series, that the films find their pace and structure for better or for worse, depending on one's perspective. For me, part of the fun of James Bond is seeing what happens when you dip that constant character and narrative structure into a specific time period to marinate in the pop culture of that era and see what that familiar formula looks like on the other end. The cars, the gadgets, the villain's plan, the music all change based on the decade, but with a certain familiarity. They're like time capsules of what was cool and popular at the time. I think we saw this with seeing Snake in the 60s after seeing him in the 21st century.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would love to see like a Metal Gear from like the 40s and then from the 50s and then...
Yeah.
Hell yeah, let's make it. Let's do it together.
Let's make
Yeah.
the game.
Yep.
To further bring it back to Metal Gear, there are so many parallels with Bond, a lone infiltrator, gadgets, equipments galore, the captured hero torture scenes, and eccentric bosses, just to name a few. MGS3 is clearly tributing to the James Bond espionage element and the formula the most, even down to the pattern of Intro mission, virtuous mission, followed by a Snake Eater music video credits intro, like the projection one in From Russia with Love, and then jumping into the main mission. The only thing missing is a roaring MGM lion, followed by the white dots in the gun barrel sequence at the very beginning. Bond even uses the same crocodile helmet disguise that Snake can find in the swamp.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's all.
Bonus. Alessio,
Uh-oh.
you had mentioned not being aware that James Bond had a nemesis organization, and for the majority of the series, he did not. The explanation is a lengthy one for those interested. Author and Bond creator Ian Fleming gave the rights to the film Thunderball to a producer named Kevin McClory. Some say that this was through sneakiness on McClory's part, and that Fleming was tricked. McClory found himself in ownership of many of the James Bond story elements by having copyright of that film.
Jeez.
One of those being James Bond's nemesis organization, Spectre, and its leader, Blofeld, who is the direct inspiration for Dr. Evil. This rights transfer began a decades-long legal battle of United Artists, Eon Productions, and Fleming Estate versus Kevin McClory.
Man, another nugget. That's really sad.
Yeah,
though.
right?
But that's cool. The history of it, that is. I keep saying cool. Sorry.
Oh man, that
My
legal
God,
battle that
Isaac.
ruined hundreds of lives.
No, that potentially led to the death of Ian Fleming.
That's cool. No, I mean,
That
just
neat.
like finding out the history, you know. Some say, this is Nick, not me. Some say the legal suit led to the early demise of Ian Fleming due to the stress of it all after being duped into giving away his creation, when he probably thought he was giving away that particular screenplay or something. The movies had to ditch certain elements and pay to use others. There are actually subtle digs at McClory weaved into the narrative of some of the films. United Artists finally got the last of the rights back just in the last few years, and so it was a big deal to the fan base. Sorry, guys, when Spectre came out and certain things returned to the franchise.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Also, Nick continues, you and Isaac discussed whether James Bond was a code name or if he's the same person in all the movies. This has always been a debate, and newer movies only make it more cloudy. Naturally, James Bond shows up in different time periods, and the code name would make sense. However, there are throwbacks and dialogue tying the actors to the same character in other films. Roger Moore's Bond pays respects at the grave of his same dead wife as George Lazenby's Bond, implying that they are the same person. With a couple exceptions, though, each film stands alone and it doesn't really matter, but I'm in the, quote, not a codename camp. Hope you guys have the opportunity to check out more of these films, even the bad ones. Have parts to enjoy. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. That's such a strange one. So I remember very in recent memory, the height of that argument happened when Casino Royale came out, the first Daniel Craig one. Because at the very beginning of that movie, it shows him becoming 007, he becomes 007 for the first time in that movie. So it created this whole battle about whether or not it was the same person or if it was a code name or what the whole deal was. So it's very cloudy. And then they're potentially about to have Idris Elba play him, so that's gonna make it even cloudier.
Oh yeah, cloudy in a good way though.
Yo, very good way. Love me some
But
Idris Elba.
Yeah, super interesting stuff, though. I mean, Isaac and I definitely talked a little bit about Ian Fleming's books and how there are fewer books than there are movies, and we talked a little bit about some of that weirdness at the top of that episode, which came out today as of day of recording, because we're recording today on a Monday. And I went back and listened to it, and Isaac, I just really wanted to say that I think we did a good job with just the two of us. It was good.
You did I.
Oh
thanks,
no.
Sam.
That news jingle really rubbed me the wrong way.
I'm not gonna lie. I very rarely will go back to listen to the show just because I don't want to hear my voice.
Same.
But I think listening puts everything in a unique perspective where we can kind of hear what needs to be better and what needs to change. And I, for the first time in a while, went back and listened and wasn't constantly like, oh, I got to change that. That sounds like shit. Why would we say that? This is dumb. I got to edit this more. I was like, this is actually pretty fun. I got like probably half an hour, 45 minutes into the episode and was like, dude, this is 2 people and I'm pretty engaged. So
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that you just need to kill me and Jane.
no, what I'm saying is I think we do okay work now. Maybe the work will start to slip because I'm confident, but I don't know. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
so
it
yeah,
was a
Sam,
good discussion, I think.
it was fun. It was just fun to talk about a movie that I don't know we both enjoyed and was unique. So, Sam, do you want to cover the miscellaneous category?
I do. So we got an email from different Sam. The email, not inferior Sam. Sam.
Yeah, different doesn't mean bad, Sam.
Different.
Yes. He called himself inferior Sam. I'm just like, there's no such thing as an inferior Sam. It's just different. So.
Do you want to tee up the context on this one? Because this originally was a very well-written, thoughtful, lengthy email, but we are kind of picking and choosing parts.
Yes. So this is Sam's history with the Metal Gear franchise, I believe. Correct?
Yeah, and he broke it down into like a Metal Gear-esque timeline.
Yeah, it's very good. What is this editor's note here?
Oh, that's just for you. That's not for the listeners.
Oh no, never mind.
It was just me adding that context.
Gotcha. Okay. So December 25th, 1998. Different Sam, I can't do this the whole time. It's a long letter. Different Sam receives a box of rocks from the driveway from his parents for Christmas. This joke is not as cruel as it seems. The box was a custom cardboard box that Different Sam's dad made to the exact shape and size as a PlayStation box and weighted down with rocks from the driveway to the same weight as a PlayStation. Dad explains as Different Sam looks on in disbelief at his box of rocks. Walmart was out of PlayStation, so I measured and weighed one they were holding for someone and made this substitute box. On our way to the condo for Christmas vacation, we'll stop at Walmart's until we find you one. Different Sam is ecstatic. His first game is Twisted Metal 3 bundled with the PlayStation. His first game is Twisted Metal 3, and bundled with the PlayStation is Interactive Sampler Disc CD Volume 8. Different Sam plays the shit out of the Metal Gear Solid demo to the best of his recollection. The Sampler 8 demo ends when you crawl into the ducts at the far end of the heliport.
Yep. Yeah, and the rest of the letter had very, very, very thoughtful and articulate entries for each of the dates on the timeline. But I wanted to pull that one just because I thought it was a very, very sweet story about his parents and Sam. Also, real quick honorable mention, Sam talked about how his parents, after Columbine happened, they didn't take away his violent video games. They paid him back for Metal Gear Solid 1 and just said that they were worried about a violent game on their developing son. So, and I thought that was an awesome distinction because, like, I don't know, to me that implies like tons of respect for them to be like, here's $45. We're sorry that we have to take this game from you. And so I thought that was neat too, but I just wanted to mention that before Sam jumps into Sam Wright. They're both our Sams, but Sam Wright, current Sam, whose voice is present.
Sam Prime. I'm Sam.
Sam Prime. Sam's going to jump into the part of the letter that I thought was sort of like the thesis of what Different Sam was saying. So
Different Sam says, "Why does any of this matter?" Different Sam grew up playing video games. It all started when he was around 5 and got an NES for Christmas. It came with Super Mario Bros. 3. His parents bought a bunch of Bible-based games as this was the original intent.
Oh, no.
They were not that bad, but were super hard. Lots of games were bought for the NES, favorites being Super Mario, the Paradicus Conflict, and Different Sam loved games. They were so much fun. They were colorful and challenging and just fun to pretend. Sonic became the new favorite when a Genesis was purchased off of his aunt. Then came the PlayStation and demo disc number 8. Metal Gear Solid was the most fun I had ever had in a video game. Someday I would buy it, I told myself, and eventually I did. In the winter of 98-99, I purchased the Metal Gear Solid at Game Exchange. Oh God, Game Exchange. On 8th Street in Rogers, Arkansas. I took it home and played all night. My life changed that night. Some people think that sounds stupid, but I think many of you will understand what I'm saying. That night, video games became more than just colorful cartoon platformers with no real underlining story. The story of Solid Snake and all the twists and turns and surprises in the plot showed me that video games could tell real grown-up stories. They had a plot and a subplot. There were secrets to find and betrayals and things to figure out. They were like movies that you got to participate in. I was invited to participate in a mature story. From that night on, video games are more than just games. Video games were now art on par with blockbuster movies. These things that were worthy of study and thought. My eyes had been opened and my mind had been blown. I would go on to play many, many, many other games. Metal Gear Solid will always have a special place in my heart. It changed me and set me on the gaming path that I am on today, where I enjoy and celebrate nerd culture. I hope to be a father soon. Boy or girl, I hope I get to introduce them to gaming and see it change their lives like it did mine. Bonus fact, if we have a daughter, my wife has agreed to name her Liara after Liara Tassoni from Mass Effect.
I wanted to include that bonus fact because I thought it was cute.
That was cool.
It's very cute. Thanks, Different Sam. Very.
Yeah, why aren't you naming your daughter Eva? Different Sam.
that impassioned speech about video games there at the end really got me.
Yeah, it was good. I was reading the letter and I was like, fuck, Sam's right. We have to go back. Yeah, it's interesting. It's one of these days, and this is the first time I think I'm speaking this into words in a public forum of some sort. I'm working on
making a baby.
I'm working on some trademarked Alessio Summerfield goofy, quirky, somewhat sarcastic, semi-intellectual YouTube video reviews or video essays.
Oh god.
And I've pre-written out several different scripts that I'm probably going to refine, and I'm not going to start working on these until next year, but nice. if you're a $10 plus patron, you might get to watch them early. Honestly, I'm pretty open to feedback, but one of the essays that I wanted to do, and these would all be 10-minute videos, but one of the 10-minute video essays that I desperately want to do is just get really, really real and blunt and kind of just candid about video games as scientifically refined time wasting devices, and yet no matter how much on paper you look at it and you're like, this is just wasting my fucking life, there is such interesting, cool, beautiful, awesome shit because of them. And specifically the things that Sam just mentioned really speak to me, because it's I don't know, man. You ever have one of those days where you look around and you're like, how much money have I spent and how much time have I wasted because of a fucking just excellently engineered time wasting game?
Yeah.
I'm curious to know if there was ever a way to see how much time you've spent and how much money you've spent on video games.
Yeah, it's called Steam Library, and it makes me cry.
Well, I guess, but from childhood, how long did I spend playing fucking Mario Brothers when I was little? You know what I mean? It's
for sure. It's crazy, but he's totally right, man. At a certain point, you play that game where you go, "Oh fuck! This isn't just a novelty. This is something else."
And honestly, I think Metal Gear Solid was that game for me as well.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think I was definitely at that age. I was probably I don't know. I think we've talked about this before. I think it was 10, 9 or 10 when that game came out. So yeah, I don't know. That's why I wanted to slap that on here, because I think, Sam, A, thank you for listening and thank you for writing. And B, thank you for sharing all of the personal sentiments. I think it does not fall on deaf ears. So thank you.
Indeed.
Nice. I'm going to take the top of this email. It says Tori Cortez says via email,
my best friend.
Also patron. So thank you, Tori. She writes in with her top 5 MGS boss battles, and the reason why I wanted to include this is because
I want to dust off my voice really quick.
The reason why I'm including this is because we gave her so much shade last episode for never sending this. So here we are. Top 5.
She provides us with a top 5 list that is
no
different,
bottom 5.
but no bottom 5, just top 5. That is different, but I also respect.
Correct.
So, without further ado, number 5.
Raiden versus Solidus. I think this might have been on one of our lists.
Probably.
Although Raiden is not my favorite, this battle provides the redemption I hope to see from him as a character by the end of MGS2. It also sets him up for the badassery we see from him in MGS4. After wielding all sorts of guns, grenades, and rocket launchers, it is refreshing to be able to test out the pacing of a fight that doesn't solely rely on the pull of a trigger. Aside from that, Solidus has a rad exoskeleton suit that I love to see while I'm kicking his ass off of a roof. If that's what you're actually doing, the whole thing's a simulation, Tori. No, I'm partially kidding.
I'm partially kidding. Leave her alone.
I'm partially parched.
Okay. Number 4.
Old Snake versus Liquid Ocelot. I think this is definitely on one of our lists.
Oh yeah, I'd probably
Yeah,
know that.
for sure.
Yeah, I think it was Isaac who mentioned the Street Fighter nod in this battle. After the introduction of CQC and MGS3, I hardly want to rely on a weapon while stealthing my way past sentries. Not only does MGS4 deliver on CQC as a mechanic for general gameplay, but to require the player to fight with nothing but Snake's fist was such a cool way to resolve the feud between these two characters. I also love the QuickTime events built into the fight anytime Snake lands a particularly brutal blow. Well written.
Yeah.
Very well written. It was like I believe we discussed this in the episode, but it was like it's such the perfect way to end the series, and then they didn't.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like,
It's the perfect final boss fight for the series.
yeah, warts and all, Metal Gear Solid 4, I think, was a fun way to see this fucking weird thing through. Mm-hmm. Kind of blows me away that the series kept going afterwards.
Yeah. But whatever. Number 3.
Naked Snake versus the Boss. This is very low, Tori. What are you doing?
Whoa.
No, I'm totally cool with it. This is good. You're not here to please me. After so many times of having his ass handed to him by the boss, having the chance to settle the score with her is pretty satisfying. Although the cutscene following the battle is a bit of a bummer, to say the least. That was me. The level of involvement in the gameplay is what makes it stand out in my mind. That the boss will not let you, the player, simply run and gun at her sums up the brilliance of the game and the series. My first playthrough involved several failed attempts at this battle in order to find the combination of sneaking and CQC that wouldn't result in pieces of my weapons scattered about the field. This battle is one of my favorites because no matter how many times I play through the game, I find it appropriately challenging. It's good, man. Yeah, I think it works so well, and I'm sure we have talked about this. I think it works so well because it's essentially you playing another you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like anytime, and that's why like Dark Souls and Demon Souls work so well, because like anytime you're pitting the player against something that has the same skill set and verb set, I think it then becomes like a really evenly like matched battle. Mm-hmm. So.
Number 2.
Ray versus Rex.
Ah, yeah.
Honestly-
this is on mine for sure.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, not much to say about this one other than how satisfying it is to finally pilot Metal Gear to destroy another Metal Gear. Again, the QuickTime events for this battle make each blow that much more satisfying. Yeah, can we talk about... I want to know who the genius was that was sitting there during the development discussions for MGS4 that just like turned and said, why don't we just fucking put Snake in a Metal Gear?
Yeah, why haven't we put Snake in a Metal Gear yet? And then Hideo Kojima's just like, oh, and then they did it.
Yeah,
And it was
because
and-
that's genius.
And then the fans cheered because it was a fantastic moment.
It was good.
It was
That
quite
whole act was amazing.
good. Yeah, it played very well.
Yep.
I wish that Jehuti would have been available. It's like they're just battling it out, and then Jehuti flies by and just like dominates.
How big is Jehuti in comparison to Metal Gear? Because I know they're huge in comparison to like the humans, right?
Yeah, I think Jehuti's bigger than Metal Gear.
Really? Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Though I will go on record to say I think mechs that move very, 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 very quickly and nimbly don't make much sense to me in media. I get why they make sense in real life, but in media it's like, if it looks and moves like a giant person, why didn't you just make your anime about giant people? or just normal people.
Coconut tension.
But it's like, I don't know. I dig, and that's why, I don't know. My heart will always belong to Front Mission 3. I dig like the clunky, shitty, realistic. This thing just broke down like mech, I think. But yeah.
Hey, Isaac,
What's up?
give me a drum roll.
Isaac just farts.
I messed that up. How do I mess up a drum roll?
You want to try it again?
Isaac just went.
Number one. A surprise to be sure.
Yep.
It's Naked Snake versus Volgan in the Shagahod is her number one boss battle.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised. I think it's cool. It was weird. I just didn't expect to see
Oh my
it.
gosh.
Well, so
No, I don't
let me
mean
read
weird
this
like
here.
bad. I just meant like I don't know. Like I just don't.
Just like
I feel
it's
like
not-
you
it's
don't
not-
see it.
it's not one you expect at the top of the list.
Yeah, like I don't think I see it a lot in some of
Well,
these lists.
let's hear what Tori has to say. She says, "I don't think I've always held this opinion about Volgan Shagahod battle, but I love how many parts there are to it. I remember having a lot of trouble with Volgan when it's just him in his suit, so ending that battle was a huge relief the first time around. I think I even had to use a fake death pill to trick him into turning around. Holy shit!
Wow.
When I realized, I
Oh
still
yeah,
had
we had
business with
we had
him-
a listener write into Facebook actually with that and post a video where you can fake death pill yourself. He'll turn around. You can get back up, and then you can take this cigarette spray and like knock like half of his stamina off, like
Oh, shit.
instantly. It was pretty sick. It was Garter Belt MGS on Twitter. He sent us a really cool video. So
Oh, very cool. When I realized I still had business with him during the chase in the following cutscene, and then again when the bastard wouldn't fall with the crumbling bridge, I was on the verge of putting the game away for a long while. Fortunately, Snake gets to do what Snake does best, and the familiar routine of dismantling a giant death machine carried me through to the end. After all is said with this struggle between Snake and Vulcan, I always feel a bit of a badass for all the different strategies employed.
yeah, that's fair.
Nice.
I guess I didn't consider
Yeah.
that the Vulcan battle is effectively a one-on-one 2-part boss fight, then a motorcycle chase, then a motorcycle boss.
Yeah, there's a lot to that battle.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it might be one of the most bombastic battles in Metal Gear. Because I think everything else is pretty much kind of like sequestered. Like the Ocelot fight is just like at the top of a ship, and then the Metal Gear fight is just like in a tiny little arena. I think this is the first time that a boss fight,
It was so
maybe other than
expansive
like
and
Liquid
sprawling.
Snake. Yeah, it's the first time that it's been like so big.
Yeah, because Liquid was on the Jeeps then. Yeah.
Oh yeah, brother.
Brother.
But yeah, I think that pretty much puts a nice little bow on the year, you guys.
Hey, Alessio.
Uh-huh.
So, and you can cut this out if you don't want this in the episode, but you mentioned Front Mission. Are we going to cover Left Alive for the show?
I don't know. I guess because of the
Shinkawa.
Yoji Shinkawa connection, possibly. Yeah, I guess so. Let's talk a little bit about 2019 plans. Just kind of candidly. 1 second, I'm totally about to sneeze. Jesus Christ, sorry. Woo. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit candidly about 2019 and Metal Gear Mondays. So obviously we already talked about how we're going to do the remaster of the MGS1 season at the top of the year. Those episodes should be starting back up again at the top of February, but keep your eyes on MetalGearSolidPodcast.com as well as our social media to know that exact date. Should be first week of February. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. The big thing that I want to talk about, though, is so we're going to be covering Ground Zeroes, and we're going to cover the Phantom Pain. Kind of the big stuff at the top of my list, and I don't know if you guys are into this. Like, I want to do the season that we've been talking about doing on non-Metal Gear Kojima games. So I don't know if you guys are still feeling it, but like Snatcher, Boktai, and just stuff like that. Police Knots. Zone of the Ender Second Runner, the PS4 version, I really want to give a shot to.
Mars.
Mars. But after that, I think we've been toying around with the idea of doing like a board game season.
Do you really quick? Do you want to do that before Metal Gear Solid 5, Alessio? The Kojima?
No. We have to get to 5.
Yeah, eventually. I'm trying to like find ways to push it back as far as possible.
I do know that we want to do a board game season, so we'll try to time it with the board game release of like the official board game. But we want to do like Metal Gear Risk and like the Metal Gear board game, Metal Gear pen and paper game, and maybe Metal Gear Monopoly. And I don't know how we're going to do that necessarily. I think we do have plans to get together at least once all together next year. So maybe we'll just try and cram in a couple games over the course of that weekend and make it happen. Maybe it'll be extra ops. Who knows? The other big thing that I definitely wanted to do, though, was games inspired by Metal Gear. So, like, not parody games, but, like, I don't know, things like Deus Ex, Human Revolution, stuff like that, Republique, maybe even one of the Splinter Cell games. But yeah, I think, I don't know. I feel like I'm dancing around the answer to your question, Sam, but I think if all goes according to plan, like we should have a Death Stranding season next year. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping. And then outside of that,
what happens if Death Stranding comes out early in the year like we expect, and then we have to decide between Death Stranding and Metal Gear Solid 5?
I think we're going to cover Death Stranding.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's the ploy. Also, one quick thing I want to throw out there, and like, I just want to prime everybody for this. Sam and I had an idea, and I don't know when it'll happen. It might be for like a free copy of Death Stranding. It might be for a free copy of something else. But we want to get like 3 people to be selected either through some sort of nomination process or whatever. We'll figure it out. We'll post details. But we want to do a trivia episode. I really enjoy putting together trivia, and I think having like 3 listeners on the show answering questions about trivia would be a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So we do want to do that in 2019 as well.
2019.
But yeah, and who the fuck knows, man? Maybe I don't know if it's gonna happen in 2019, but maybe we'll do a Metal Gear Solid the movie review at some point. But yeah, that's just a little peek into what's coming next.
Also, I think we're pretty well set on this. I think in the fall this next year we're going to be doing another movie season, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. We'll probably pick like 3 unique movies as opposed to however many we did, like 5, where like half of them were sequels. But we'll probably do like three unique films. So it might be another James Bond. Maybe we'll get old Nick Freda on the show. And then I do know that we've had requests to cover The Thing. So who knows? But yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. Hope you guys enjoy listening. We are going to continue to play around with the idea of doing some remasters as well. So we may eventually remaster the Metal Gear Solid 2 season and kind of consolidate that somewhat. But I think after that, we did kind of find our voice in MGS3. So it'll be good. But yeah, I think it's kind of the state of the union on that one. I don't know. I'm excited for 2019, and I think we've got plenty of great things to cover. So if you guys wouldn't mind helping get the word out and letting more people know about the show, one of the big things I'm working on in January when we get back from being away for the holidays is I want to get this website up. And the reason for it, I don't know if we've shared this on the show, is for SEO. No, I'm not just saying part of my name. I'm not saying Alessio. I wanted to do some blog posts and maybe even set up like a forum or something, and do some special posts where maybe me, Sam, Isaac, and James can all kind of post things from time to time on the website. But to drive more traffic to that website would help get more eyes on the show itself. And that means more listeners, that means more patrons, that means more Patreon money for us to do really fun shit like live episodes, maybe go to, I don't know, like PAX maybe and get a table.
We should
or
do that.
MagFest, that'd be fun. Get a table at MagFest.
We should get a table at PAX because you can stay at my house and not spend money on a hotel.
That's true. But yeah, so we have a lot of shit we want to do, but in order to do some of that stuff, we need funds. And in order to do that, we need more listeners. So hopefully the website will contribute to that, as well as just giving you guys more cool shit to check out. Yeah, so ways that you can support us if you want to assist with any of that. You can go to patreon.com/MetalGearMondays. Likewise, you can go to bit.ly/MGMstore. And if you are still shopping for late Christmas presents, shame on you. Or
Yeah, it's
early
fucking
New Year's.
it's about to be January 2019. What the fuck?
Oh, I know. Or
if you're shopping for presents for my birthday on January 5th.
correct. If you're shopping for Sam, consider going to bit.ly/justabox, all lowercase. Those Amazon purchases will put a little money in our pocket. But yeah, that's ways that you can help. And if you don't want to financially contribute, just share and review on iTunes or anywhere where you get your podcasts. If you enjoy this show, just tell people about it. That means the world to us, and it helps us a lot. Yeah, I think outside of that, I just really quickly before we jump into plugs want to make mention that that the next 3 episodes you are going to be listening to were pre-recorded. I'm very glad to finally be able to release these.
Oh my
It
God.
is all of us with our good friend Alice, and we are talking about female fans of Metal Gear. We are talking about Metal Gear Mondays on Metal Gear Mondays. And we are going to be talking about the Metal Gear experience. Alice and her father actually went and did the escape room in Tokyo. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome. And you guys should definitely keep listening for those. So the break for you guys is really going to feel like 2 weeks or maybe 1 week. But the break for me, Sam, Isaac, and James is going to be a much needed, like, almost 2 months, maybe like month and a half. So yeah, let's plug it up. Sam, what do you want to plug?
Hi, I'm Billy Mays here for. I just got really I don't know. You surprised me for some reason.
Sorry.
It's okay. You can follow me on Twitter at @Sangel. Well, no, that's not. I tried to spell it and then I tried to say it. @Sangel. That's SANJUUL. I do that so well every week, and then this week I just fuck it up. What the hell?
Hey man, it's fine. It happened to me with the intro, and then it never stopped happening.
Mm-hmm. Ever.
Ever. Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, Isaac, plugs.
I'm gonna plug it right here. Doesn't have a twit. That's my Twitter handle. That's all I got. Sorry, guys.
Nice. You can find me at Deathmask the Divine. Excuse me.
Jeez. Oh, jeez. I didn't know this was gonna happen.
Oh, we know. We know. We know you know that we know. If you're curious about what the fuck we're talking about, go to our iTunes reviews. You know who you are. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at AC Summerfield. You can go to acsummerfield.com. I was supposed to today, clearly did not. I'm going to continue to be posting some film retrospectives before I leave for Europe. So that'll be fun. You can find that on my website. And yeah, check out Metal Gear Mondays at Metal Gear Monday on Twitter. Hashtag Metal Gear Mondays. We're claiming that shit. And you go to facebook.com/Metal Gear Mondays as well as Instagram at Metal Gear Mondays. And it's fantastic.
Yay.
The Instagram videos are great. Sam, I noticed that you posted them to Facebook once and then didn't again. Do you want to keep them exclusive?
Well, so I think what I'll do is post it on Facebook every once in a while to kind of tease the people.
Dope.
So here's my fake rationale, my real rationale for not posting it on Facebook as often, right? I kind of want it to be, my fake rationale is it's Instagram. I want it to be a little exclusive, I want
keep it exclusive. No, I get
keep
that.
it exclusive. My real rationale is that my computer sucks and it takes forever to export the video, so I don't want that too often. So there you go. Pick which one makes you feel better about it, and go to Instagram at Metal Gear Mondays.
Yeah, and support us on Patreon so Sam can get a new computer.
Yes, please.
But yeah, cool. Well, we appreciate it.
Don't do that for me to get a new computer. I don't really need it.
Yeah. Yeah, we should wrap this up so that I can finish my email conversation with this lovely person who's going to sell me a Nintendo Wii for $20 for
Yes.
an undisclosed future Metal Gear Mondays project.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's in the bag for tomorrow afternoon. So congratulations, Sam.
Yay.
And yeah, so we'll figure it out. I think, I don't know. I've been racking my brain trying to figure this out. And I've been trying to think outside the box. But I think really I should just think in the box, right? It should just be a box. It's just a box, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. So.
Yeah.
I mean, what really is a box when you think about it at the end of the day, right?
It's 6 walls, corrugated cardboard.
6 walls, of course.
What's the sixth wall, Isaac?
The
Time.
lid, the flaps. Whoa! Oh god!
Holy shit!
This-
It sounds like it's not just a box anymore.
No, it is just a box.
Just a box.